All right, guys. Hey, welcome to In Camera is Greater Than Photoshop. I am Richard Harris. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I am excited for this cat that we have in the house with us this evening. I am a lover of color, and this guy is a wizard. So we're excited to meet him and talk with him. We got some cool things coming up in the group, guys. It is spring sports season for us. So I apologize for the activity being a little bit down. But on the other hand, we've also been planning a lot of stuff as our weather gets better, and we can really kind of take advantage of some opportunities that we can just have some fun. So this summer we are going to launch a new photo walk series called "See Your City Differently." So a lot of our photo walks will be right here in the capital city, so centrally located. So if you're in the Detroit area, Grand Rapids area, south, north, wherever you're at, Lansing is not a terrible drive. So a lot of our See Your City Differently photo walks will be here in Lansing, but we are going to be planning Detroit, Grand Rapids, and you can also reach out to have your city be included this summer as well. We'll have at least one a month, but there'll be a lot of pop-ups. There'll be a lot of things added to our calendars as well. So these will be photo walks with myself and some of our group experts. We're trying to get involved in as well. And these will be free of charge for our members, so no money. Just come out and be a part of the community, have some fun, and really learn, to see things a little bit differently. And I think that's what makes us really special as photographers, is when we understand composition and lines and framing, and then really be able to start thinking outside the box. That's when our creative parts of our photography can really open up and really shine, is when we can start seeing different types of compositions. So even in our own town, things we see all the time, we're going to learn how to see things a little bit differently in our city and in yours. So we're excited about that coming up for this summer. We also have the man Jeff Tisman and the superstar Sean Lara coming up in the next couple months right here on special guest live streams. So we are really close to launching our Seniors in Sports monthly, except just again right now it's been absolutely ridiculously busy for us here with our schools and leagues, senior banners and stuff like that we are very thankful for. So, anyways, guys, CH Photography is in Las Vegas, and Chris is with us tonight. So, Chris, welcome to our special guest live streams, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, hey, thanks very much, man. I appreciate being here.
We have we have so much love for Vegas as photographers, being that WPPI is kind of like one of the things that I think as photographers, as professional photographers, we really get excited about and look forward to. And man, so before we get into being a wedding photographer in one of the coolest cities in the world, which is just absolutely it has to be insane. Let's learn a little bit of more about Chris and CH Photography and who you are and how you got here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been doing about this for
Uh-oh. Oh.
one of my best friends grabbed the camera. I grabbed his camera, and then he shows me a picture he took. And we all know the first time you see a 1.2 shot, you're like, wow, that blurry background. So it was amazing. And from there, I just thought, man, what would it be to capture like moments? Then I remember seeing Vogue magazines and wedding magazines and just capturing moments. And I was like, wow, like I want to do that. So I've always been in retail business. That's what a lot of people don't know about me. I have a lot of retail experience, and I what I did was the way I would release stress was take photographs. So as I got better and better at it, I said, you know what? Let's just try to get a session going. I might as well. My parents, my mom, my friends would say, hey, you should try it. See if you can get that going. And sure enough, I was blessed. And I never say luck because luck is not a word to me. It's called a blessing. So it went perfect after there, and I just started photographing. And 5 years in, about 4 years in, I got moved to 10 years. I was shooting there for about 6 months, and then I got sent to Vegas for a promotion for my job as a regional manager for the retail business that I was working in. And that's when it all took off. I got my first wedding here. And after that, I would say my first year, I booked like 52 weddings in my first year. And
Those
that
numbers
was,
are crazy.
it was crazy, bro. It was like crazy. I didn't know how to take that in at first. All I could say is that a lot of tears came down my eyes because I felt really blessed because I know how hard it is. Now I think about how hard it must have been back then to get that many amount of weddings. It wasn't luck, it was a blessing. So it was just awesome. But after that, just kept shooting, 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 and we're here now. Now I'm on your show.
Well, dude, I can tell in your work that the fashion you mentioned just a second ago, like the first thing that you do after your camera, you mentioned Vogue magazine, right? So obviously, retail fashion magazines, dude, you can definitely tell that that style has inspired you from the get-go because you're posing, your emotion, it's a great amount of flash, but sometimes it's that poppy hard flash.
Yeah.
It's everything that fashion photography nowadays needs as in their imagery because nowadays you don't open a Vogue magazine and see too great of photography. Sometimes it's a little
Yeah.
questionable. You know what I'm saying? But you can see that those early stages of your inspiration in your work for sure.
Thank you. Thank
Now,
you.
looking back at those images from those 52 weddings that first year, how many years ago was that?
Man, that was about what, 9, 8 years ago?
Okay. What is your? Do you still have them? Do you still have the images?
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
You ever go back and look? What's your thoughts?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, I think the biggest thing is, I would tell you what the biggest thing difference is stiffness. I would notice a lot of stiffness back then. One of the things that I teach in my class, I had a workshop recently, is that when you're posing people, everybody talks about posing. One of the things I would tell you is bring your inner self out, make people laugh. I make a lot of sounds, bro, when I photograph. Like it's so freaking weird. Like I have a lot of sounds and I talk a lot of trash too when I'm photographing. And the reason I do it is that my job as a photographer is to let the inner come out of the person, right? Just let the true self of the person come out. I think that when you're a great photographer, you can accomplish having a great relationship. And the only way you know you have a great relationship with your customer is the expression off the camera you get. If you
Yep.
don't get that expression, there's something you're not clicking with your customer.
Yep.
But that's not your customer's fault. That's your fault because you're not figuring that out. So when I look at my pictures back then, they're good. But I think that if I would have cracked up the jokes that I have now, it would have been so much better. Right. And of
Right.
course, I'm not going to lie, my lighting is so dramatically different.
Oh yeah.
And that is one of the things that has really inspired me to push where I'm at now. I can honestly tell you that when I look at a photo right now, I'm like, how can I beat that one? So I'm never satisfied. And I still think to
Yeah.
this day, I still have not shot my best wedding
Yeah. Well, I think that's the one good thing about photography as well is if you don't. I've seen I see photographers posting stuff from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I'm like I don't know if I can do. I can't post shit from 6 months ago because I'll critique the shit out of it, and I try
yet.
to learn so much from every session. Going back is hard for me, and especially where I started at my first probably my first 10 years behind the camera were a little sketchy.
Yeah.
So what was your inspiration? Where did you go from those first 52 that are kind of questionable to these amazing lights and colors and what was the thing that clicked for you to make you want to educate yourself and get educated and make that investment and grow like in that direction?
So one of the things that I noticed here is if you guys, you know, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but when I look at photography, I feel like there's a saying that I say, anybody could shoot during the day, man. And I say that with an open heart, and I tell that to every single one of my customers. And there's a joke that I say, my grandma that's blind can shoot during the day, right? And everybody just starts cracking up. But it really takes on an artistic eye, and not only that, you being able to composite and vision everything in color. So when I go into a room, I don't see a white wall. I see a blue, orange, red. I'm already picturing colors in it all the time because I've always been color driven. I don't like anything that's just simple. My favorite color is red because it reminds me of love. So, I've always been a romantic too. So, one of the things about me is that color drives me. And I feel that color is very needed in photography. And I feel that with all the trends that have come out in photography, we went through the sepia look. I think you remember that, the bohemian look where it's all orange filter. And then we went to light and airy. And then we're back at the light and airy. Then we're going to the sepia filter again. I just didn't want to be that, you know. I mean, I don't mind shooting it for a client if they ask me for it. As a matter of fact, I still do when they ask me for it. But it's not what drives me. What drives me is color. I feel that things that are colorful, vibrant, bring life. And
Yeah.
I want to make sure that when you see a photo of mine, I want you to ask yourself, how the hell did he shoot that
Amen,
shot?
bro. Dude, that is
That's what I
it.
want, brother.
That is the
If I
goal,
if I
man.
get if I get that, the song that comes to mind is "Take My Breath Away," right? So that's what I
Yeah.
want to do. I want to make sure people are
I
like,
love seeing
shit.
that puzzled ass look on people's face, like you what this.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I live for that shit, dude. That
Yeah,
is what I shoot for exactly.
absolutely.
Um, and I think that's what I love about sports. Like shooting sports, or even
Yeah,
shooting, dude. Once you get more into seniors, when you start incorporating what we talked about earlier, when you start incorporating your lighting stuff,
yeah,
you're gonna fall in love because weddings are you got to have that shit figured out. And it's got to go boom,
absolutely.
boom, boom, boom. And people are like, oh my God, how did you make this shot happen? It's at a wedding. There's no way you didn't have time for that. I'm like, you kidding me? I had 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like at weddings, you don't have time. But with seniors,
So,
you have,
that's a great question that you just asked because a statement you just said. A lot of people when they see my photos and they put a comment, I don't. I always tell everybody, and I've always told my wife, my mom, and everybody that I critique myself the hardest. So whenever you leave a comment that's negative, do what you gotta do. But once I got a comment that said, "Well, it must be nice having so much time on your hands to take this photo in a wedding."
yeah,
And believe it or not, man, it's not to brag. It's not because I think or anything something about myself, but I'm lucky if I get 10 minutes sometimes with a bride and groom.
yeah, oh yeah,
And I'm being serious. Like, and it's nerve-wracking most of the time. I got blood pressure going on the top of my head thinking, Jesus, how am I gonna pull this off? Right. But what I will tell you is this: once you learn lighting, it's just easy, man. It's
yeah,
easy. And I'll be honest to you, my favorite weddings is when it starts freaking raining. It's ugly outside, and the
yeah.
person they start to panic and they're like, shit, what are we gonna do? Don't worry, let's go to the restroom. I'll create something badass.
Right,
I got
right, right.
you. Yeah, people freak out, right?
I'll
But
tell my clients,
a lot of my photos, believe it or not, are outside a restroom on a wall or in between places in a kitchen.
yeah,
So it just, it's just all about lighting, brother, and making sure that you composite the right way. I always say, um, there's three things in a great photograph. A photographer once said this, and it always stuck to my head. As long as you have a good gesture, lighting, and composition, you got those three things, you have an excellent photo. So that to me is what's always stayed in my head. As long as we got those three things, we're good. We're gonna
yeah.
rock and roll.
I always felt composition is one of those things that's the unteachable art of a great photographer. Like
Yeah.
my mom, she she can't find it. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's a person with no rhythm trying to dance. It's not a pretty sight, man. Composition is one of those things where I tell you that's the unteachable thing with photography. If you naturally feel balance and symmetry, if you can naturally see lines when you look at a certain, portion through your sight, then the lighting is teachable. Your
Yeah.
personality you can work on, but there are some things with composition that is just if you get it, you get it. If you don't, eh, photography may not be for you, or just do it for fun. Uh, well, that's really cool, man. We got some images to take a look at. We ended up actually reaching out to um, some of the members, and I thought it would be kind of fun just to do some critiques. Something that we're always trying to improve this show. We're just kicking off, and we have been hella blessed with some amazing photographers. I mean, I am blown away by the colleagues and now friends and people that I've met over the last few years, and the willingness to be able to share their time and come on, a podcast that doesn't have 10,000 people. I mean, this is definitely not a Joe Rogan show, but nonetheless, coming in and sharing your time and stuff. So we're looking forward to adding new things to the show and kind of changing. We want to get more interaction. We want to see more engagement. But this, I'm not a talk show host. You know what I mean? I'm just the guy. So our members are reaching out and they're kind of telling us and showing us what they would like to see. So we were excited to see that engagement. So we got some images to go over from our members as well.
Rock and
So
roll.
anything that you want to plug? Do you have any workshops coming up? Do you have anything? I tell you what, real quick though, break down
Yeah.
your gear.
So
What are the tools in your box?
yeah, so tools in the box. I got two Canon R5s. I carry two cameras at all times, or R5 Canons. My favorite lens is my 15 to 35 2.8. I love that lens.
Okay.
My second favorite lens right now that I'm popping a lot is the 50 millimeter by Canon 1.2 RF. And then after there, I would say I have my 85 1.4 Canon, which is EF, but with the adapter with the RF. 70 to 200 2.8 necessary as well, and 100 millimeter macro.
Okay.
Yeah,
What kind of lights?
Godox right now.
Oh, the
More,
right.
more, 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 more to come on that one. I just can't say, but yeah, more to come. We'll see where we go from there.
All right. I got a
Yeah, and my modifiers, I use Magmod,
Magbot.
100% Magmod. Yeah, quick, easy, fast. I love it, bro.
Dude,
Honestly, that's what changed everything for me when it comes to the lighting part.
Magmod softboxes you can run over with your car, I think, and it'll stop the car. Like those things are tanks.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I've broken two of them.
you've broken two of them.
Oh yeah, bro, I've broken two of them, and I've got them.
I
I
can
thank
relate
God.
because I'm a hard ass on my gear, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
I broke them. Well, I didn't break them. It was my damn assistant that broke them. He was holding the light, and then I told him to get the hell out of the way, and boom, just fell off and just broke. Yeah, twice. Yeah, so it is what it is, brother.
well, I have a box of paperweights that used to be flashes, but man, I went to Gikoto and these things, man, the one just I did 300 lacrosse players yesterday, and we were outside. This was not an indoor shoot. We were outside. I got a 10 by 20 tent. We got walls, but God, that wind was just gusting through there. Stand for my green screen light flipped over. It's probably like 5 6 feet,
Yeah.
and it has a strip box on it, but there was no strip box. It went right to the flash. Like I heard it, like just the sound of it. But bro, I don't even get worried anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
I just went over and turned it back on, and it started working again.
There you go.
Durability, man. The Gikotos, man, are just rock solid. Um,
Good.
but well, that's cool, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in the shot. I like this first shot of this bride. This is a shot that Parliament lighting is just or butterfly, kind of light is just an absolute stunning look on a woman. And this is a great shot. I don't want to call this a simple shot because I don't want to undermine it whatsoever. But as we break this down, I think this is a shot that a lot of photographers can learn. So
Absolutely.
break this down, brother. How'd you shoot this? What'd you shoot this? Is this a wide
Yeah.
angle? Do you step back? Like break it down for us.
So yeah, so this is a third. I used the 15 to 35. I was at a 35 f 2.8. ISO is at probably around 100. I always leave it at the lowest ISO, probably 1/60th of a second. That's usually my indoor settings when I'm doing something like this. And the two back where the lamps are, I had two 80 200s with orange gels on the very back. And then, believe it or not, here I was not using a Magmod softbox. I was using my favorite Getting Ready softbox, and my favorite Getting Ready softbox is a 20-inch softbox. And right now, the only one that I have is the Angler brand, 20-inch, with either I put a VC1 Godox or an 8200. I think for this one, I had an 8200 at 1/25th of a second. But one of the things I want to tell you about this shot, it took about 15 strikes to hit it right on the spot, because one of the things that I would notice is when I take a photograph, and I told this to my group because I have a group on WhatsApp and we talk about photos and everything, the people that went to my workshop, is you have to act out what you're going to do. So, like for this photo, for instance, I told my bride, hey, I want you to put your hands in front of you, and in the count of three, I want you to open up and swing up. Literally do the movement and breathe out through your mouth. And the reason I do that is that I shoot those frames fast, and I notice that as her face and body move up, the light starts getting feathered, and it eventually hits that spot. So out of those 15 frames, that was my favorite spot. And that's important because a lot of photographers will see a pose like this, including myself, and we think that the way to do it is just tell the person to just stand there and just go like this. No, that creates stiffness. What you want is motion. And also, when you do that, the two hairlines that are coming down here through the little curls, they'll move back also and fall right at the right place as she's looking up. Now, another thing that I tell people is whenever you have a softbox and it's angled at a 45, you want to make sure, especially when you put two 200s in the back, you don't want to spread the light too much of a 45. You want to release it maybe a little bit more flat line, but not too flat, because then it can create some ugly shadows you want. But remember, the flatter you go, the higher the chin needs to rise, because if not, you'll get those raccoon eyes.
Yeah.
So this shot, I knew that I wanted her chin to come up because I wanted structured on her chin. When I saw her jawline, I'm like, dude, I got to take advantage of that jawline. So my job as a photographer, seeing the features of my bride, if I see a good feature, I'm going to make sure to show that on the photo.
I love it. I think you did a great job with the jaw. The jawline is really tough. Because with that one light, especially with a smaller softbox, it would have been really easy, dude, to get that underneath the neck really muddy. That
Absolutely.
ratio could have been super dark.
Yeah.
But no, I love how the light feathered underneath there. You
Now,
had
another thing is this is people, one of the things that I notice, because a lot of people say, Chris, how is that light so damn soft every time you shoot it? Get close to your model. Like, stop being 5 feet away, 4 feet away with your softbox. Like,
yeah
you have to get, the closer you get, you know the saying, the closer you get, the softer the light.
yeah.
So one of the things that a great photographer can have on a wedding day is a lighting assistant. You can't do none of this without a lighting assistant.
No.
There's no possible way. So I'll say
Well,
that also.
Sean Lara does not use an assistant, and that was the first time I saw one of his presentations. That was the first time that I remember sitting back and I'm like, must be nice to be that physical fit, or to be able to do all that. Like I don't know how in the hell is he does it in Colorado on the mountains, and he says he does it by himself. But I am Chris, bro. I am with you. I have told people countless times. I'm like, you have no idea how valuable a great assistant is.
Absolutely.
Your lighting, and I've had it in my wife to be, Tori, bless her heart, she's not a big statured woman.
Yeah.
So when she's got a mag box with two hundreds in the mag ring on a 10-foot stick, and she's got this little holster, and her
Yeah.
her poor 110 100 whatever pound body she is trying to hold this thing, she puts in that work. But even if you have it's not just, in my opinion, it's not just about having the assistant there, but your assistant should understand lighting. Like you said, the direction of your softbox, if if you're trying to do a composite and you see, you're starting to get those dark things, or if you're
Yeah.
doing a shot like this where you got the perfect pose but you missed it because the lighting assistant wasn't paying attention, or the lighting was drifting one way or the other because they weren't really involved. And then I also tell a lot of photographers that if you're learning off-camera flash, go hold a stick for somebody. Like
Yeah.
seriously,
You
you
know what?
can learn so much.
Absolutely. One of the things that my lighting guys, the ones that help me out, now I see their photos and I'm like, man, they learned something. And they
Yeah.
actually learned something, right?
Oh hell yeah.
But in lighting, I'll always say one thing is that every inch counts.
Mm-hmm.
Like every inch. And I mean up, down, side, towards. And I see a
Yep.
lot of good photos out there, but I'm nitty and picky about that, man. Like I want things to look a certain way. And usually all my soft boxes are no less than a foot away from the subject
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, that's
So
the
I,
first thing that you always hear. Like I
yeah,
remember, I remember that having that same thought process. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
oh, so you always want to. Your mind tells you to move the lights away. In our workshops, we see the same thing. Especially our kicking off to off-camera flashes. To workshops or workshops where attendees are just learning. They are amazed, and I'm like, dude, every single picture that you see, generally there's a softbox, either
yeah,
partially removed or or
yeah,
or just outside the frame.
absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
and it's something. It's just one of those theories that just doesn't make sense initially. It makes total sense to us now, but I know damn well when I first had them, I was like, oh, I need more light. I'll just move them away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is a very good point. Um,
Hmm.
I think the best thing, though, like you said, with this image, and I think this is something that you do very well that I see in your work, is that motion. It's not. This is not a stiff image, and this image can be replicated very easily, but will not tell the same story
There you go. Absolutely.
without that, brother. So
Without motion. Yep.
absolutely abuses. What's that? Oh, okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, Layla. They are most certainly. And I tell you, what a thing, thing about assistants is, don't ever look down. Like, don't ever think, oh, I gotta go. Like, I'll go hold some sticks for a lot of photographers. Like, and I'll be
Yeah.
happy. There's some actually
Absolutely.
photographers that I'd actually pay them to go hold the stick for. You know what I'm saying? Like, being that assistant for somebody is not something as a photographer you should be like, oh, I'm
Well,
just like,
my
not at all. Like,
I'll give everybody on this call very, if you want your light assistant to be great, you also have to remember that whenever you get, because a lot of us photographers, we shoot a photo, we show the back of our camera to the customer, the bride or the groom, and they're blown away, right? They're like, oh my God, you're so good at what you do. I always tend to say, we are very good at what we do, right? I
oh,
include lighting assistant because without him, I'm nothing.
yep,
Like I'm trash.
yep.
And without my customers putting in their part as a good bride and groom, I don't have a good photo. So
I think
one
that's
of
a
the
good
things
note
that
for everybody. If you're a wedding photographer,
absolutely,
that's a good
absolutely.
perspective to have. And
And
that
one thing
that puts some
too,
pressure on your clients too. Like, hey, we're a team. We all got to be doing our jobs. I love it.
what it does, it indirectly your assistant's your assistant gets boosted and says, "Man, hey, this guy's giving me credit. I'm even going to do a better job." And then when you tell your bride and groom, thanks to you guys going along and getting everything done the way we want to get it done, makes them feel like, man, we are good at what we're doing. So the confidence goes up.
Right.
And once that confidence threshold gets up, man, you can do whatever you want with your client. I can tell them, let's go to the top of the mountain, let's go shoot a photo. Let's go in the water, let's go shoot a photo. Your trust
Yeah.
with them goes to another level. But
Yep.
your job, and I've always said this, being a photographer is probably 20% of your job. 80% of your other job is relationship based. That's your
Yeah.
job. Your job is to make sure to build a relationship where you make your customer feel comfortable that if you ask them to do something, they're like, man, go for it. Do whatever you want to do. That's
Yeah.
when you know you've done your job good.
Well, I think in finding that right customer and in prepping that customer and into that process, and we had some questions, and that kind of, speaking of customers.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking about your pricing and what do you start at for weddings? Layla from Grand Rapids wanted to know a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So my packages start in the beginning of six. I have a 6, 8, and 10 hour. Right now, my 6 hour package is starting almost at the 3K just for 6 hours. So here for Vegas. And that's just digital copies. Everything goes higher, but I would say the cheapest you want me to just show up, take your photos, that'd probably be the cheapest way out to get something from me. Now, one of the things that I will say is that every customer is different that I book because some people are gonna want um they're gonna want an album and then they want prints and they want this like anything packages can go from there all the way. I've had packages sold all the way up to $20,000. So it just depends what the customer wants, how they want it, how many hours they want, and everything. One of the things about me is that now I'm getting into the Indian industry. So those weddings are like 3, 4 days, man. Last year I just finished shooting the biggest wedding of Las Vegas here. That was what, a $1.9 million wedding. So, and it was at the Caesar's Palace. So, yeah, that was me. So it was good. Thank God, me and my team, I had like 6 of us that day for the crew. So, every wedding's different, but and I also have elopement packages for an hour also. And, we have all kinds of packages depending on what they want to do, what the customer wants to do.
Dude, I think that's I did my first non-photography workshop at a conference in Detroit just recently, and I think that was one of the biggest things that I think people forget to do is 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 to pivot, is to, if you have clients asking for something and it's not fitting your main price point, it's not fitting your main product, and you have a constant stream of people looking for something that's not fitting what you do, I think a lot of times people forget about all of that money and business that they're actually giving away. Um,
Mhm.
where you'd be like, well, hey, I'm 5 grand or 3 grand or whatever, but I only want an hour elopement. There are a
Mhm.
lot of people that I know, and a lot of experienced people, that would just be like, oh, okay, well, maybe call so and so.
Yeah.
But I love to
Dude,
hear that. I love to hear that you were just an
I do
opportunist,
it.
man.
Yeah, I do it all for this reason. Look, I don't let my ego get in my way of being a better photographer. When you stop doing something just because, and this is my opinion, and I can be wrong, I'm giving my opinion right now,
Yeah,
but you have to think about what's your ultimate goal, right? My ultimate goal is to be the best in Vegas, day in and day out. No one's gonna shoot better lighting than I am. I'm just saying that's my opinion. That's what I want. That's my goal. I don't say I'll ever be there. I'm not saying I'm not even there, but I'm just saying that's my goal. Every day I wake up to do that. So I know that if I shoot every single day, I'm gonna get better.
yeah,
And if I turn down a customer just because they need me an hour, that's an experience that I let go, and that's something that could have taught me something new. And
yeah.
a lot of the times, I'm gonna be honest to you, bro. Those 1 hour elopements are better than my 8 hour gigs because I get better photos off of those.
Right, right,
And
right.
because those hours, sometimes I'm not lying. There's been times that I'm shooting and I like the couple so much. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you another hour for free. I just
Yeah,
want to photograph you, man.
yeah. Oh,
This this
yeah.
this
You
is
could
awesome. You know?
you'd go hire a model to do the same thing. If you got a
Yeah.
client that's willing to put that work in and you like them and you're having fun, why
Yeah.
not? Yeah,
Absolutely. And I
yeah,
think that a lot of people, I have a lot of people that say, well, I got booked just for an hour or my session is 2 hours. Hey, man, good for you if you want to go on a time limit. Me, I don't time things. I like to make sure my job is well done, it's well executed. And when the customer walks away, they're like, shoot, I can't wait to come back to this guy again.
yeah,
So that's how you get best recommendations, right? But yeah, I take all kinds of jobs, brother. Except I'm not good with babies.
yeah. I just won't do it, man. I mean,
They're so hard, man. It's
oh,
hard.
dude. And honestly, with babies, I mean, some of the best maternity photographers I talked to, and they all said the same thing. Like, you can't book a 2 hour baby session or an hour baby session. It just doesn't work that way. These girls come in and they sit with mom and dad, or sit with mom or sit with dad, and they sit with the baby and they sit there until the baby falls asleep, and then they shoot for however long that they can. If they get it, cool. If they don't, they wait till the baby goes back asleep. Sometimes they say they sit there for 6 hours, to be able to get a full session in. But there's a safety aspect to that, and people ask me for. I just got one yesterday or 2 days ago. Like, baby pictures. I'm like, no, you don't want. I'm not the guy. I'm not.
Yeah.
They're tough. I don't do cake smashing. If you got after 4 or 5 and they can hold a football or something like that, I might be
Yeah.
in. But I know my
Yeah.
lane, but I also like to be diverse.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing that you see a lot of times with photographers, that they kind of they either overdo themselves or stay too close into one lane. Like, I'm a wedding photographer, or I only do sports. Like, I know a lot of guys that I won't touch a wedding. I'm like, all right, well, okay, that's cool. I get it. But do you only do sports? You don't like, because you learn a ton of things. The stuff that I learned in wedding photography has helped me in sports ungodly. You know what I mean? The stuff that I didn't learn for sports stuff. I learned for wedding stuff, and I just incorporated that. So, that's another thing. I love that diversity out of photographers as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, do you have any upcoming workshops that you have planned right now? I mean,
Uh, I do. Can't say much right now, but I do. You guys will be seeing something over the next few days.
okay. Well, keep.
I'm stoked. It's for next March. That's all I can say. It's next March, and it's gonna be awesome. But it'll be all over my Instagram feed and stories and Facebook, so everybody will be very aware of that. It's gonna be awesome. Trust me, it's gonna be good.
So, and after we're done, make sure please share all of those affiliates, all of those socials, all of your
Yeah,
information in the comments,
absolutely,
so
100%.
our group can jump on board as well. I just want to
Thank
say,
you.
hey, welcome to all of the people that joined today for Chris's show. I just want to say, hey, thanks a lot for being here. I know you're here to support Chris, and we appreciate that support, and we appreciate you supporting our group. And I just want to remind you, don't go anywhere just because Chris is not going to be on the next time. If you like cool photography, stay a part of the group, and hopefully Chris will be interacting and kind of promoting his stuff as well. But I just want to say, hey, welcome to our new members that joined us specifically. Chris has got some family here, so mad love to you guys for supporting this guy like that. Chris is a dad of 2. I don't want to get too much into personal stuff like that, whatever. But
A
Chris is
dad of three.
a 3. Okay, oh my bad. 3 beautiful girls, right? All girls, if I'm not mistaken.
No, two girls, one boy.
Oh, so dude, I missed the guy. What the hell? All your pictures of the girls, man. You're shortchanging
Yeah.
the dude, man. What's your son? How old's your son?
He's 1 year old.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
All right.
one. So we're having his party this Sunday. It's gonna be good.
Incredible, man. Just Chris is a great dad. I'm sure he's a great husband. Joanna's here with us tonight as well, but I'm sure he's a great husband. But I can tell that you are an awesome dad. So I know we kind of touched base on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But all right, hey, let. I'm one of those people, man. Either I don't talk
Next
or
photo.
talk too much.
Next photo. Go
Yeah.
for it, bro.
I I need our members just to put a big next GIF.
Yeah.
Carry on, Richard. All right. This was cool. This was a Flash Masters, right?
Let me see. Yeah, so that one I actually shot it. Yeah, so this one is a man, believe it, it's a 4 light setup.
Okay.
So
So all those
magenta.
lights are not. They're not like the overhead lights that were in the club
No,
automatic.
no. It's a magenta light on the right hand side, blue in the middle, and a yellow on the left hand side. I mean, yellow up on the green. That's how you see green because it mixed with the blue and when yellow hits blue, it turns a little bit green. So it's 3 lights in the back and then softbox in the front with a 24-inch softbox.
I absolutely love the lines of the picnic table.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
The
So
lines
believe
of
it
the
or
picnic.
not, bro, this one's a funny story. We were at the pizza. This girl's like, "Hey, Chris, I want photos. I want a photo of me eating a pizza with my hubby. Can you take that photo?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry about it." So we did that photo, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna walk to the back because I just want to, there's like a little bar back there. There's nobody back there. Let me just see what's going on." So I walk to the back and I see this graffiti wall, the wall you're just seeing right there with the benches.
Yeah.
And I told my assistant, and my assistant looks at me. He's like, "I know what you want to do." I'm like, "You already know, bro. Just set it up already." So he set it up, everything up, and we got this photo, man. Rock on. I told him my view for this photo was like AC/DC. Like I wanted something like fun. She had her glasses. That's what I told her. I want something like you sticking out your hands. Make sure you do this, and
Yeah.
it just went. It went well, man. It went good.
So just one overhead light?
One overhead light, 24-inch softbox mag box.
Okay. Gorgeous colors, man.
Thanks, man.
All right. And Sharon Fulton from New York says, "Hi, are the tables lit with lights from behind or was color added in post?"
Both. So, for instance, the spill only went like a quarter in with the tables. The rest I just filled in with color.
Gotcha. So are they where are the lights placed at?
So if you look at I don't know, what is that, a guy right there sitting down or something by a
Yeah.
piano? Okay, yeah, let's call him the little boy there. So there's a light there facing up. Then right behind between both of them with a stand, there's a blue one shooting up. Then right where the yellow mark goes, it looks green and then yellow to the side, we had the yellow one go off.
Okay. So on
Mm-hmm.
stands behind or just set up on the picnic tables?
No, just on top of the picnic tables.
Okay.
Yep.
Spheres or spheres? Any
No
diffusers
spheres.
whatsoever?
Just
Just
open up. I will never, I will hardly, it's very rare for me to use a sphere when I'm using a gel.
okay. Any specific reason?
I like the spread. I want it to go everywhere. Like I
Okay.
want it to spill. It could spill a little bit in the hair. I want it everywhere. A lot of people don't like the spill. I love it. I want it all over the place. Because
Yeah.
also, when you put a sphere, what I've noticed, or anything else, any other kind of modifier, it reduces the power of the flash. And I like to keep my flashes as lowest power as I can because I shoot in burst mode. Like when I'm telling my like this photo right here, they didn't just go one time. They went one time and I told them scream harder, 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 harder until finally I got the photo that I wanted, right?
right.
And
Right.
there's a lot of shots that are going on. So I can't afford a high power and then it just cuts off on me. So that's why I try to use the lowest power, so no modifiers.
How out of 10 shots in this predicament, how many do you get where not all flashes popped?
That's my problem with Godox. I wish they were on this call, bro. um, so I get a lot of misfires, bro. One thing I can't stand is misfires, and I
Yeah.
would say that out of 10, I would say that a good 4 to 5 shots, half of them, one light's gonna misfire. I mean, it
Yeah.
pisses me off, man. And I have 8 80 200s, and
Okay.
four of them are brand new, and they still misfire.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that kills me, man.
I have
So
I've been asking around and like and again I'll stand by my Gikotos. I stand by them completely. However, there's the misfires. I don't care if you're at 128. It doesn't matter. It's just there are those misfires.
yeah,
Um, and the only people that I talk to, man, that don't say the same exact thing are the pro photo people. But man, that's like a car, bro. Like for
yeah.
real.
I told I
I
told
don't.
my I told my wife I think I'm gonna sell the house. No, I'm just joking.
No, dude, for real though. I mean, those
Yeah,
things
it's
are
expensive, bro. Yeah,
stacks, man. I mean, you better make a trip to New York and just roll out the red carpet at
absolutely.
B&H if you're gonna go that
Yeah.
route.
No, but yeah, I'm gonna be, believe it or not, I want to try out Geekoto. That's definitely something on my head right now. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and there's a lot of photographers, including Amber, that uses them, and I look
Yeah,
up to Amber a lot. I love her photos. She does a great, phenomenal job, and I'm always asking people that use lights, hey, what lights do you use? What lights do you use? Esteban uses Geekoto too, so
yeah.
there's a lot of guys. I know my guy, the guy that I think is really good too, is Christian Cardona. He uses Geekoto as well.
Mm-hmm.
So all those people are people that have a good word, and when they say it's good, I want to see what good is. So we're gonna definitely check it out, see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, comparable. in that regards, I think to the Godox or the flashpoints. But the
Got it.
biggest thing is Hiram's customer service is awesome. Um,
Awesome.
but the durability, the casing, like those things, man. Like I said, I see those things dropped all the time. Man, I got an 11-year-old son that helps me out, bro. I see flashes dropped all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and man, they just keep on going. So,
Yeah. Go
all
for
right,
it.
let's keep on going here. We're doing all right. Yeah, this whole couple session, if some of our members are not in the mag mod community, you need to be. It's a great, if you're not on Flash Masters, if you're not a member of Flash Masters and you love cool shit like this, uh, flashmasters.co, Helen and Neil are amazing people. Their educational platform is incredible. The inspiration to see images, even if you're just starting out with Flash, just to be able to see the work that can be created with just a little bit of effort. I mean, the resources between here, or especially in the Flash Masters group, both of those are going to give you the visual inspiration. It's going to give you the backing, the knowledge. Um, so I know I saw these images in both those groups. So break this one down. I think
Yeah.
there was
So
some behind the scenes ones that you posted in the Magmod group. Was there a behind the
yeah.
scenes to this at all?
So listen, believe it or not, dude, this was out in the desert at Gene Dry Lake, bro. If I would tell you that it was dark, dark is not the word. It was pitch black. Like you couldn't even see what was in front of you, brother. Like that's how bad it was. So and come to mind that it was 30 degrees outside. It's
Holy
freezing.
shit, 30
Freezing.
degrees?
Freezing, bro. It was freezing, bro. You have no idea how cold it was. And my assistant and I, we set up 5 lights in the back, and you only see four because one they're behind it. It's a
Yeah,
yellow one right in the middle, but 5 lights in the back, and one 24-inch softbox to light them. And one of the things that I told them when they were going to do this photo is I said, look, this is what we're going to do. I want have you guys, think about when you've seen the Notebook and the guy carries the girl and it's very emotional. I want you to carry her, but I want you guys to slowly meet and then slowly push back. Don't kiss. Slowly meet, slowly push back. And then also, what I want you to do is that once you get like closer for the third time, just laugh your asses off. Once again, bro, one thing with me is I need motion. I can't stand still photos, man. So like I always am asking people to do something because I knew that either one, I was gonna get a photo, real good photo in the first one, second one, but I know that for sure the third one was gonna be really good. So the third one came out great. This was actually the third sequence, and what I mean by that is this one probably took about 20 frames. So the very first one was probably like 6, 7 frames. The second one, another 6, 7 frames, and the last one, 6, 7 frames. This one went off. Now, here's again. Problem with the Godox. I think I had like 2 or 3 misfires. So I had to overlay photos to make
yeah.
sure that all of them looked up at the same time. Now, the gold flake dust that you guys see, that was an add-on filter that I did just to give it that kind of pop. Because I felt that with that pop, like I liked the photo without it, but I said, what can I do post-production that would look freaking cool? So I know I wanted some kind of like light trail, some kind of like sparkling effect. So that's where I did that, and it came together, man. That's how I came up with this photo.
I think the placement of the overlay is what makes the overlay work so well.
Mhm.
The I think the overlay almost adds part. It's almost like in the image you see the sand particles coming up from her jumping into his arms, and
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as photographers, you automatically just know that that's an overlay. However, looking on it visually, it does have part of the story is part of maybe that's part of the sand as she was jumping and running on the beach.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, Brandon.
Thanks, brother.
And what a cool ass couple to take their. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's 30 degrees. If I ask,
Dude,
I can't even
no, check
imagine
it
asking
out.
one of my
Check it
couples,
out.
dude. Like,
I was laying in bed with my wife one time, and it was the most funniest thing. I was laying in my bed with my wife. We're just there talking, and I get a text message, and it's this customer. She's like, "Hey, Chris, I know we have you booked and everything. but we've decided that we want something crazy, fun, and just do you. Do what you want. I don't know, maybe there's something you've been wanting to do. And I've had this idea, bro, in the back of my head for the longest time.
Yeah.
However, you know, when I found out what couple was asking me which one, I looked at the couple. They're athletic, they're fun, they're gonna want to do it. They both look like models.
Right.
This is just perfect for them, man. It just it's either today or it's never gonna happen. So definitely that's how that all went down, and it was fun.
Uh, Great couple, great image. Again, the colors are fantastic. The one thing that I really like too is the skin tones are always really natural and always very well done
Thank you.
in your shots.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Yes, Amber, I agree. The whole entire set was a lot of fun. All right, real wedding
So
day.
yeah, so this one, I'll talk to you about this one. This one was pretty good. It was funny. I remember walking in the room and she was I saw the window and she wanted to get ready on another room and she wanted this to happen in another section. And I told her, I was like, no, it needs to happen here because I like that window and I like the placement of the sky. It was an overcast day, and anybody that lives in Las Vegas knows that we hardly ever get an overcast day. It's usually bright sun, no
Mm-hmm.
clouds, no nothing. So, anyways, what drew me was the blue curtains. And I said, man, if I just add more blue, it'll give it more of a pop. But then when I took the photo, I said, shit, it sucks because the bed would just cut off and it just looked like, blue because the blue was bouncing everywhere and it would jump on the bed too.
Yep.
I was like, it just doesn't look right. There's something that it's missing. And then I looked to the side, there was a side table. Side table had a little glass. And I said, you know what? I told my assistant, take everything out, just give me the damn glass quick. So I stayed laying on the bed. He gives me the glass. I put the glass there and I put the camera laying on top of the actual glass at 15 millimeters. And I put 280, 200s with blue gels, and then I just lit her up with a 24-inch softbox for Magbox.
I think that's I think that's something that I have changed about me as a photographer over the years is being able to just look around, dude, and see that table, and then just taking the table apart. And the funny thing is, he's not even thinking, not even thinking a thing about it. Like, what? I'm taking the table apart. Like, what?
Absolutely.
You know. But I think that sometimes that's where the creativity.
Mhm.
Jason Vincent again. You know what I mean? Like some of his
Yeah,
shots are in the most simplest,
amazing.
weirdest places, dude. But the way that he constructs them, the way that he puts them together,
Mhm.
but also kind of seeing just being able to see that vision differently and and
Absolutely, bro.
and I think this is a good interpretation of
And I would tell everybody that everybody always says, Chris, what's your biggest recommendation for using gels? Is when you find something that's colorful, just add more color. So if you see something red, add a red gel, make it more red,
yeah
right? You see a blue curtain, add more blue to it, right? Create a dramatic effect.
yeah
Now, another thing about adding gels and everything is everybody thinks, man, what power were you at? The lowest power. It's always the
lowest
lowest power because the lowest power will give you the highest saturation most of the time. The highest you'll ever go is 164 if you're doing it right.
yep
You hardly will ever go up to the high numbers unless you're outside and you really have to outbeat that shiny day or something.
right
But inside a room, there's no reason for it to be at ISO 100 all the damn time. There's no reason why you should be doing. Now, another thing that I've noticed that photographers are very scared of is that they don't want to drop their shutter speed. And I totally disagree with that one. I am one of the guys that I'll have my shutter speed sometimes at 1/30th of a second, 1/15th of a second, because I know what my camera's capable of doing. So I know that I have an unstable stabilizer, and then I have a stabilizer on my lens. So I don't need to worry about anything. But that's another recommendation that I have is instead of increasing, your ISO, drop down the shutter speed, man. And if you have a good camera, it's gonna do it good for you. You'll hardly ever see me. The last thing I do is higher my ISO. The last thing I'll do. That's the last thing I'll do. If I could shoot it at 1/30th, 1/25th, good, bro. I know that at the wave, as long as I don't breathe and I'm holding it tight,
Yeah.
I got two stabilizers. It's more than enough.
Well, and the
It's gonna
flash too. The flash helps freeze that as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of photographers, even when I did the class, they're like, "What shutter speed are you at?" I'm like, "I'm at 1/60th." 1/60th? You're gonna get shit. I'm like, "Of course not. No, there's no way in hell that happened unless you're going crazy and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, of course, or anything like that. But if you're not, I mean, everything will be good."
I shoot a lot of my reception stuff at like 110,
Yeah,
just because I
yeah,
got flashes everywhere, or I got somebody on a stick holding the flat. Like, I think that little softness around the crispness adds, especially when you're working with colors. When you
yeah,
have that little bit of softness in that image, that will pop out those colors a lot.
yeah.
But yeah, the colors hide in the darkness.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And Scott said they were camera. Well, I replied to him, but he said blue everywhere. How? The blue light position. And it's just on the left and on the right, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I thought I answered that correctly, Scott. All right. Let's get.
Now remember, you got to remind Scott too. That's an overlay photo. It's not just one photo. Remember, I always shoot one photo to light them up, and then assistant gets out of the way, the blue turns on, and I stack one photo on top of the
Okay.
other. That's
So
the way.
this is composited with the multiple
Always,
images.
always a
Okay.
composite, because you have to understand that if you have a 24-inch softbox, that throws a lot of light, man.
Yeah.
So that light's gonna spill everywhere. Even if you put the grid on, it's still gonna spill a lot. So a lot of the times, that one of the biggest things that I've ever learned is you gotta know how to composite, because that's how you'll keep the saturation of the color strong. If
Yeah.
not, it's gonna have a fall off, and you're gonna have like a light blue, dark blue. It's just doesn't look. It doesn't look right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense. All right. Again, lots of motion, lots of movement,
Yes.
lots of emotion as well. So, uh,
Yeah.
beautiful sky, kept it.
Yeah, yep. So this one definitely was just a one 24-inch softbox. It was high right in the front, 45, just regular daytime. But what we did was, there's a video of me showing it, is I actually was the one grabbing the veil with one hand, 15 to 35 lens, and I was holding it, and I would shoot it, and I would move up and down, so the veil would tend to move, and then I would push it in and push it out, and keep shooting, 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 while my assistant was holding the light to get that photo. Easy.
Gotcha.
That wasn't that difficult.
I you say that, man, but I struggle with the veil position and angles. Like, I think the art of this picture may not be a super hard technical lighting setup or anything like that, but
Yeah.
the symmetry and the lines that you got with the veil, I think in my opinion, that's the art of this image.
So one of the things that they're asking, Sandra said something about, thought of it. So I do this with the group shots, but never thought of it as a traditional color. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. So another thing I was gonna tell everybody is, every photograph when I edit them, especially when it goes to social media, I it's a canvas. I'm gonna say that much. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that. Like, a lot of people will edit a photo, they'll drop their preset. But man, I'm technical, bro. Like, if I don't want my eye to go somewhere, it's your job as an artist to paint what you don't want to be shown, right? And what I mean by that is, if you need more shadow there, create more shadow.
Hmm.
If you want more light, put more light. If you want more color, you want color. And you might say, well, Chris, that's going to take me 10, 15 minutes. How good do you want to be?
Right, right,
Right?
right,
I mean,
right.
I'm just being honest, right? It's like, one of the things that I always learned is, you want to keep your wife happy, you're gonna go all out, right? You're gonna do everything you can to make your wife happy, your kids happy, your family happy. Same thing with your photos, brother. You
Yep.
got to invest the time. Even if you have good lighting, you have everything structured down, the photo's great, you still got to make sure to do it better and your post production. And that's where you kick in your gradients, you kick in your brushes, whatever you want to do to bring more attention. But I always tell everybody, like on my workshop that I had, if you don't treat your photos like a canvas, then they're just a photo. It's not a painting. It's not an art of yours. Like you got to complete the whole thing. The art starts
Yep.
with the photo, but it ends with the post production.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of people say, why are your colors like that? Because that's what if I want my colors to pop, I'm gonna do anything it takes after I'm done to make them even pop more. And if that
Yep.
takes 20 minutes, that's gonna take 20 minutes, but I'm gonna have one day customer.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's how you get
I
your
agree.
customers. 100%.
I agree completely. All right. And let's go here. This next. Oh, all right. So,
Oh, that's the critique.
yeah, that's the critique. So let's go ahead and uh, go through the list. I think the file names I can get to pop up here. All right. So anybody out there that's taking a watch, that's taking a listen, that is have been watching, is there? Are there any questions? You guys have any questions for Chris in regards to any of the amazing images that we just that we got to go over before we move on? And so, Chris, I want these critiques. We're going to try to do these kind of quick.
Yeah.
I always try to start heading out at about an hour, so we're at the hour now. So I don't want the like if you have something to say, obviously say it and take as much time as you want to. But I don't want you to feel obligated that we got to spend a ton of time. We can just throw some opinions in here and to see it in ways that we can help out. And let's see. I want to make sure I get whose images. Why the hell can't I see? AJ, it only lets me see like 4 comments. I don't know why in the hell. Yeah. Uh, I know whose photo this is. Hold on just a second. Let me. All right, Adam. Adam. I think it's. Oop, I think it's Cokes. There we go. Adam, basketball, sport portrait. Chris, what are your initial thoughts? We're good, AJ. You want to go back to that image for
I
me,
can't
buddy?
see it.
There we go.
Got it,
Little,
got it, got it, got it.
little. It does stem up all the way to the top of the fire here. Bottom of the frame is there.
So I'll tell you one of the things that can you zoom out really quick? Okay, cool. So
Zoom
one
in a
of my
bit here.
things,
There we go.
it's super tight. Yeah. Can you
Oh,
go out really quick, real quick? There you
yep.
go. So one of the things that I would tell you that it would increase this image right away, like in a snap beat, is straighten out the image. It looks crooked to me, so I think that with auto alignment, it would fix everything.
Yeah.
I see at the bottom one, and then also I think he left the tripod on there, didn't he?
I do see the light stand behind.
Yeah. So I would definitely look at that. And then the two reflections on the top of the basketball court, those white ones, it's
Yeah.
drawing my eye up there. So one of the things in photos, and it's a good image. I'm not a sports guy, so I'm probably one of the least person to ask, but to me, any good photo is just make sure the very first thing you want to do, and I learned this from, a lot of photographers, is make sure your lines are straight. Your top line might be straight, but your bottom one isn't. So just guide the lines, and it'll fix the whole photo for you, number one. And then any elements of distraction, I would remove them right away. So just like the two lights in the back of that basketball court really draws me out. Now, when it comes to the lighting perspective, it looks like feather lighting. So, good, man. Good. I'm not so much of a do compositions like this with fire. So go ahead, brother. Critique.
Um, yeah, definitely. I think the balance of the lines is throwing me off. Um, quick removal for those legs on the stand and the reflections on the backboard. I think my biggest thing here is a simple thing would have been just when you do fire on the ball, and this is this is for me failing at this many times, but I've also learned that when you because this is actually done live, like so they actually lit the ball and it went up with like a bubble solution. But what happens is during a session, you get this kind of lingering suds in your
Mhm.
soap solution, and when you have the suds do not burn. So
Got it.
Adam, when you do the fire, one thing that you'll always want to make sure is you can remove this. You can just the removal tool will take care of that, and you won't even know it's there. But to avoid this in the future, make sure that the solution that you have on there is the just the large bubbles, because
Mhm.
the gas will ignite and they'll go away. But when you have those suds, they linger and there's just an editing nightmare. However, like Chris was saying, in post you have these abilities to fix these things.
Yeah.
Um, just a quick removal tool like in person. I think rotation of the ball, the with the air stem kind of being right there, and if you don't think about that during the session, just remove that stuff from the ball.
Absolutely.
That'll make it look a lot better. And that backlight, just keeping the separation. I see it on the inside of his arm there, but boy, I would have loved to see some rim or something on his shoulder there to separate
And
him.
the last thing too that I'll tell whoever took this shot, just make sure that the brightest part is his face, not the side of his chest. You see where it's really white? Boom, that's where my eye goes, right
Yep,
there.
yep.
So, and once again, I've made this mistake millions of times too. So don't take anything wrong that anybody says. I'm just seeing the photo, but that's just what I would do different. Other than that, I mean, I think get a good image.
Yep. And careful on the bottom crop.
Sucks. Mhm.
Just obviously we never crop at a joint, but that little sock right there again, anything that kind of keeps your eye from focusing on where you want it to focus on, that's generally the face, can be a little distracting. But great job, Adam, and definitely definitely a good pick, and definitely some ways that we could make it better.
Keep
Uh,
going, brother.
yes, amen,
Another
amen.
sports one, dude. You're known for sports, bro.
I, I, I was literally, I almost said no to myself. I was like, all right, no, we're just going to keep this wedding related. But we did have a few of them come in, so I'm like, yeah, you know what? We'll challenge Chris a little bit. I'll throw in maybe some opinions as well.
Yeah.
I just want to see if I can. Again, I want to make sure I get these names. Adriana Thomas. Oh, I got to go back here. All right. Chris, go ahead. What do you think?
I think it's a pretty good photo. Here's what I learned from one of the great photographers. Do you know who Ferhu Resti is?
You know what? I do not.
You don't? Man, he is awesome, brother. But what I will tell you is, personally, me, I think this photo would have been awesome if the camera was touching the ground, less of the ground and more from a downward upward because it's a sports. But this is a great shot. I like it. But I'm just saying, from a personal standpoint, I do that a lot, and the only reason is just to move the distraction from the back with the houses and stuff. So that's what I would do. Just try to eliminate that. But other than that, well lit, good. And I love the way the sun looks. She's probably using what, F8, F11. So good there.
Adriana, is that an artificial light, or I don't know if Adriana's with us or not, but I'd like to know if that was an artificial light. I like it there. Uh,
Flash,
yeah, I wonder if
be
that's a flash, because
looks
there's
good.
definitely light there. You can see the shadows.
Yeah, but it looks
Uh,
good. It probably is a flash, but it looks good.
yeah, she said it's an 8200. Thanks,
That's
Adriana. Great.
cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's a really cool shot, and I love the way that you use that to represent uh, something in that dark corner. And I think the lighting that you got from that flash, you just didn't get to add to the flare, but you got some good backlight. You lit the bat up a little bit, and it really created that separation. I'd like to see the shadows a little bit less spill, and like Chris said, I think you would have lost that if you would have dropped that angle on that camera a little bit.
Mhm. Yep.
So something I think that a little thing, And Audrey, I know you were square in front of the baseline, so this is something that might have been a little bit challenging, and it's always better hindsight after, and you always see things here a lot differently than you see when you're actually in the session. The symmetry of the fence kind of throws me off um, a little bit, um, and maybe that would have been something that you could have just added a section to the fence. You could have taken that. You could have taken that. Yeah. Hell,
Generative fill.
hell, with not, now with the AI, dude, you probably just would
Yeah,
have just
generative
drew a
fill.
square right there and just added a fence, But you
Yeah.
could have you could have mirrored this section, just copied and pasted, flipped it, and brought it and added it to there, just to kind
Mhm.
of fill in that section to add that symmetry. Um, no, but great
Absolutely.
shot.
That
I'm
is
sure she
good.
was really happy with this. So, and great addition and creative lighting to think about adding that flash up there. All right. All right, and this is, I hate to keep doing this every time. Hold on, bear with me. I'm going to get these. There we go. Now I can go here. All right, sorry about that. Chris, man, I'm not even going. Chris has got a really lengthy, strong last name. So, Chris, I apologize. Chris,
Benavides.
no, not
Yeah,
your
don't
Chris.
worry.
The
Don't worry.
Strazolkowski. I hope
Yeah, you.
I hope I did it justice. But
All right.
another
So,
sports.
brother, so with this one, I'll tell you right off the bat. Look, this photo can go from good to like great just by adding 280, 200s and adding some color in the back. I feel like there's no separation. So, but if they would have just either put a backlight or maybe just colored it back there, whatever the color theme is for that school, I think it would have, definitely done better. Now, another thing for group shots like this, if you go to my page, I've been doing this a lot, and there's a lot of photographers. I know Jeff Tissman has done this, myself, I think Amber, Esteban. Um, Softbox every single one of them and overlay every single photo, and the light will be extremely soft and nice on every single one of them. So we do that for the wedding receptions now, and it works wonders.
I wonder how many. I know Chris actually sent me a message, and he said he was probably going to have to watch it later. So I don't know if Chris is with us. Uh, I wonder what the lighting setup is. It just one on each side? You think left one left, one right? I would think maybe for the setup for this, but the power of the backlight is so undervalued. Dude, the backlight. You know what? To be honest, you mentioned Amber. Jesse is really. I mean, but a ton of great photographers use this, but if you know how to use that backlight, sometimes you just need the backlight.
Yeah, brother.
You can do some
Yeah,
cool ass shit with just a backlight if you understand how powerful that backlight is. And
absolutely.
and I think that's, dude, 9 out of 10 times the first thing that I see in an image that really kind of turns me off from it initially is the lack of that
Absolutely.
of the backlight. So, um, yeah, Chris, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. I'd love for you to be able to be able to try that composite shot that Chris was talking about and throw some colors in the back there. All right, and this is Holly Roseberg, Brug, Bro, Rose. I'm so sorry, Holly. Holly had this beautiful wedding images. When I first saw this, I had to take a quick look because I wasn't sure if those lights were angel wings. They kind of
Oh,
look.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it does. It looks cool. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I
I
was like,
got
dude, I
you.
wonder if you could do like some type of motion blur on those dots and shape them into the
Yeah.
wings.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this one, Chris?
All right, bro. So first things first, I would like, I can tell that it's just one light.
Mm-hmm.
The light is far and the light is harsh. So the easiest fix, I think that you had something here, but I'm gonna give you two great recommendations to make this photo wow. I'll give you three of them. Number one, add a backlight. You just need to add a backlight. Once it's dark, there's no such thing as should I do it, should I not? It's a must.
I
That's number
agree.
one. Number two, You want to light each one of them with a softbox and composite on post. That way you put both of them, have a real nice soft gel look to them. That's number two. Number three, tell the guy to start waving the hand back and forth. Tell them to look at each other, and then in the count of three, have the bride look back at you, and they'll have some movement right on their hair, and it won't be so stiff. So that's my recommendations. Those are my three tips.
Now, again, adding that motion, and I think
And
with
I'll be honest to you, once you put the backlight, bro, I think I would remove those little lights that are running out of her body. Because
yep,
if you look at it, just to your point, it can distract you. And you know what else I would remove on Photoshop? That rock on the right hand side on the bottom.
yep,
Yep, that would go. For me, it would go. So one of the things that I do in photos, just so everybody knows, says Chris, did it look like that? No, I clean my photo up. If there's a piece of trash I don't like, a leaf I don't like, I if there's certain cuts on the cement that I don't like,
right.
I take it all off. A clean image, a crisp image, that's your job to clean it up. But I think that you were going for something good. It looks good. It's a good photo. But if you want to elevate it to that next level, those three things will definitely, man. You have a beautiful bride, you have a good looking groom, and really good. Overall, it's good. You just want to make it better, like anything.
Yeah, I think that you know when you have more direct lighting, closer lighting on the subjects, your ambient on the feet are going to be a lot less. I think that you'll have a nice fall off of light on her dress that'll light up her dress enough, but
Absolutely.
the stones won't be such a prominent focal point.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but
And one of the things that I notice a lot too, I don't know if you notice it, bro, but I struggle a lot with this. Like I have to always be looking at my photos is when the color blue comes out on the white wedding dress.
mm,
I hate that. Like I get a brush and I hit desat. Like if you look at that photo, if you go to the photo and you look at the bottom of the dress, there's a little bit of blue right in the bottom.
yeah,
I recommend everybody, and I taught that in my workshop too, is get a brush, desaturate it, and take that off. So that way the whole dress looks white.
but then again, with your backlight,
It'll take that off. Yeah,
that you would remove that.
absolutely.
So, and that's another
Absolutely.
benefit of that having that backlight is it's going to equal out your white
Yeah.
balance amongst your whole
Yeah,
subject.
absolutely.
Yeah, but great shot, Holly. Very,
Absolutely.
very cool. All right,
Ooh, that's a nice one.
and Kelly Buchanan.
Yeah. This one's good. I like this one. This is actually a really this is a nice image, man. I like it. Um, it's very cinematic. So I like that. Also I could tell she's using a very wide lens. She's probably shooting like at a 15 or 20 millimeter or something because I can see it distort a little bit. But I like that. I love that effect. I think it looks so cool.
It's so
I
funny the
love the
camera's
way
distortion on her in her belly, kind of the spherical. Just that small little bit spherical that you get from her with the belly. It kind of makes sense.
yeah, dude, it looks cool. It looks cool. I think it's pretty good image. I think that if you would have to critique anything, if I had to critique anything, I probably knowing me, because I always want to make sure that my eye goes straight, which it's even though bright, but still I just feel the top maybe with a gradient, just lower it a little bit, the exposure in the top and the very top, just so we make sure that the eye always goes towards the subject. But other than that, I think it's a cool photo, man. It looks cool. I like it a lot. It's
No,
nice.
I love the symmetry of the lines of the building. Great
And I
subject
like how that
placement.
middle line, just everything, the two lines, everything's just driving everything into her. So
Yeah,
it's a good photo, dude.
yeah. I love the symmetry, especially the
Yeah.
lines in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're here to pick things apart. I think I love the image. I maybe would have brought that little hot spot on the ground up a little bit, kind of filled that in a little bit. My eyes just kind of seem to
Yeah.
be drawn to that little white spot right underneath her dress a little bit, um, and then maybe even brought in some of the color because it's a beautiful orange red. I mean, it's not too poppy. It's not, you can't really place what color it is, but it's got great tones that match the rest of the image. But I would have loved to seen that color brought into the reflection of the windows. Just again, it's one of those little things.
Yeah.
You just taking that little things Uh, but it's got that nice tint of blue. But if we would have got that just to match that color in the umbrella in the light on the ground a little bit, I think that would have added that. And like you said, if you drawn out that ambient light from the top of the building, drawn that back, and then added those just that little bit of red in those windows, that might have been a cool addition. But awesome image.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of symmetry and lines, man. I
Yeah.
absolutely
Composition,
love
brother.
it, dude, man. I will geek
Yeah.
out on some shit like that. Very cool image. Very cool image. I was excited to see this. I saw this from Carrie before, so I was excited to see that she submitted this so everyone could check it out. Beautiful, beautiful image, and lights that you can relate to, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this one's really good. I can tell you right now that was probably shot in a 15 of how the lines are going. And if that's the effect you wanted to give, more like a spin off on the bottom, hey, awesome to you. That's what you want to do. But I think that here, other than that, I mean, other than that, it looks good. I like the motion. I like the color. I think that it looks awesome that everything is just drawn in right in the middle. The lights in the ceiling going towards her. I like the angle.
Yep.
And it's good. And I will tell you one thing. The next time you do this shot, I challenge you to do something. I challenge you to take 3 steps forward and drop the damn camera to the street all the way to the bottom and then shoot up. Number one, your subject will look taller and it'll look like so cool because they're ballerina. I've done this before. The lights from the bottom will look sky up, like if they're going like skyrocket, and you still get the Chicago sign on the top. So just try it out. It's another look, but this photo's so cool.
Yeah. Nope. Absolutely beautiful. Carrie said that was a 17 millimeter. Um,
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
think
there
the
you
one
go.
thing that I love about shots like this, and
Hmm.
I love the idea too about making her a little bit taller. First question
Hmm.
that I had in my head was like, would I have removed that blue TV, and maybe just increased her with the AI tool that Adobe has now given us? We could actually make her a little bit bigger, but nonetheless, I think dropping that camera. But besides that, the one thing that I love about composition like this, and Care, I think it's a phenomenal job. When I look at like Two Man, or I look at something like Jesse LaPlante stuff, or Jesse LaPlante stuff, uh, images that have so much going on in them, but for
Hmm.
some reason your eyes are drawn right to that dancer.
Yeah.
Like my eyes don't go anywhere to the lights, anywhere. It goes right to that dancer. So Carrie,
And I'll
kudos
tell
to
you
you for doing
something,
a
that
great job
TV
on that.
that TV screen that's blue, the way that I'm seeing it from here, because obviously the images we're seeing here are not high res. Um, it looks like a zoomed effect. So it actually looks cool, man. Like from further, yeah, you see it is like a zoom effect.
Yep.
Unless you zoom very much, maybe just removing the very middle guy. But I'll be honest to you, if you look at the guy even going like this, it's like a very cool expression because of what she's doing.
Now that I zoomed in, I was thinking that same thing. I was like, it's almost like the
Like,
guy's like,
dude,
"Oh my
that's
god,
awesome.
look at this awesome
Yeah.
photo."
That's an awesome. I would not remove that. That looks awesome.
And it may be the blue TV that actually helps draw your eye because it
Absolutely.
does
Absolutely.
contrast to that. Yep.
Yep. Hmm.
So no, killer job, Carrie. Beautiful image. Love it. And this is from Layla
Ooh, that's
Trueback out of
nice.
Grand Rapids.
I love that. So you know
Uh,
what? I want to talk about a comment that I read here. Let me bring it up real quick. It was pretty funny because I think people took it the wrong way. It said here, this was funny. Respectfully, where is this? It was good. It was good because I want to talk about what I really meant. Where is it? Oh my God. Well, anyways, I think they had said something to the extent of respectfully, they disagreed that anybody can shoot during the day. What I meant was that when it's during the day, it doesn't take any thought process of adding light in my eyes. Like if you shoot during the day with an iPhone now in these days, things look great. Not that it doesn't take an artistic way of making it look like that photo we're looking at right now. Can you put it? That photo that I'm seeing here, I love the expression. That's like, of course, taking into consideration the expression is just phenomenal. Like, and here's another thing: it's not just a regular day photo, man. You have a line going up like this, where she's in between the cactuses. It's going like this. Then you have the downhill coming in like this. So it's a triangle effect that's driving you in right where she's at. Then the expression of her picking up her dress with her actual like shoulder up really elevates it. And one thing that really helped that is her chin was never down. It
Yeah.
was separated from her shoulder. So to me, fantastic photo. That photo is that should be like in a magazine or something. It's great.
I love the far arm
Mm-hmm.
that
I
doesn't get
love that.
lost, that doesn't get lost behind
Absolutely.
her. And the one thing that
100%.
and the thing that did catch my eye immediately was the framing between this tree, this bush, and this
Yeah.
bush right here, and the lines of the
Mhm.
walkway. So
I'm
uh,
saying.
I think Layla does a fantastic job. She does use
That's
off-camera flash. We've had joking conversations, and she has definitely a more editorial style. You know what I mean? More very natural. But she does a very good job of it. She fills in the blanks where she needs to with the flashes. But
she's great, man. I like this work. Really nice.
yeah, beautiful scene, beautiful photo, beautiful client.
Yeah.
All right, and Scott Tibbles, my man, and Niles. Niles, I'm in Scott. I'm in Niles next weekend, man. So maybe we can actually finally catch up. Um, and
Okay.
two lights,
All right.
guessing. What do you think, Chris?
All right. So I think here he could have. If you look at the lower left, there's a spill there. You see that corner?
Yeah, right here. Yep.
Yeah, that corner. Yep, definitely drawing my eye there. That's a removal there. But I understand what happened here. He just used one image and he edited off the image. It's not a composition. Composite, I'm sorry. So what I would have done is I would have composite. And the other thing too is if that back wall, as pretty as that back wall is, if it spread it all the way, I would have added more than one light. I would have added either two or three lights and lighted all up blue. To just give it a little bit more of a, you know, more of a punchier look. But not that the photo's bad. I think it's good. What I would recommend is you take it into uh, Photoshop and just bring out that blue a little bit more. And if that's the image you're going for, more like a darkness on the sides, and you just want it right in the middle, awesome. But if not, for your next one, add another light in the back and let that rip and lower your shutter speed, and you'll be good.
I like the shadows in the blue. I don't know what's
Mhm.
causing that. I don't know
That's
if
what
that
I'm
was
saying. I'm
if
I'm confused a little bit, bro, because it looks
like if there's
like it's
is it a
going.
plant or
Yeah, it looks like it's going through something and it's not just behind them. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if that wall goes all the way or is there something in the way. So maybe there's a reason why it's dark in the corners. I would love to know if that wall goes from side to side.
yeah. I
Yeah.
I like the subtle shadows in there. It does add some dimension. It kind of reminds me of like a Mad Mask.
Yeah.
He said I did zero editing on this. This was straight out of camera
Oh,
using
wow.
a mag beam with gobo.
Dude,
So that was so yeah, dude. Three light setup,
dude.
main kicker, backlight was a gobo. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. There you
so
go. Imagine edit it. Dang.
dude, Magmod stopped making the mag beam, dude. That is like one of the best tools that I don't use very often, but when you need it, dude, it creates a shot that you can't get without it. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'm glad that I own one, uh, but disappointed to see Magmod made that move to get rid of it. I don't know what their it was a cost structure or something, whatever. But that's a product that I'm glad that I had. That's something that you can pull out anywhere, dude. And
I have five of them, so I'm good.
oh, dude. I saw one for
Yeah.
sale the other day, dude. I tried to jump on it, and see it, dude. It was gone so quick.
Yeah.
Um, one of the young ladies that attends has attended some of my workshops, and I've had the pleasure of meeting over a little bit. She had at the last workshop. She's like, I found one of those things and I got it, and I was like, dude, you better hold on tight to that. The creative things that you can do with those things are just absolutely nuts. From simple things to things that no one's ever figured out yet. But that is an
Absolutely.
awesome tool. So Scott, great job on this image, man.
Great
All
job,
right,
Scott.
and this is Sandra's.
Oh, Sandra does a great job. She's good, man. I love it. She did the method. You can tell right away. She did softbox one by one and put it all as a composite. I love everything. I love the orange. I
I
love the
like the
light.
color ratio or the light ratio with this composite.
I like all the little light trails on the top. You know how it all goes in. Composition's just it's great. What can you say about this photo that other than it kicks ass? It's nice, man. It's a really
Yeah.
good photo.
Um, I've loved seeing friends and colleagues' images like progress over the, you know what I mean? Like I've known someone now for 2, 3 years, and we all see our work regularly, and we all see our work grow. And I think Sandra does an amazing job on her composites. And the one thing that I really have noticed, something I've noticed from the gig with Jeff Tisman, is his composites are well lit from head to toe. And we all know the dreadful hot face and black feet composite.
I call Jeff the master. He starts laughing all the time. Uh, he's he's a great guy, man. He's awesome, and his photos are full of energy. And one of the things that I see him, Sandra do a lot, Esteban, Amber, and all them is that you know lighting's on point, dude. And that I'm always gonna say that, man. To me, I can tell right away if you know how to use light or not, and it's not an easy thing. But once you get used to it, you got it. It
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah, once it clicks, and once you understand it, the creative possibilities are really just endless.
Absolutely, one
Is
hundred
this
percent.
is this in Charlevoix, Sandra? At Castle Farms? It looks like an upstairs room at Castle Farms, but I have not been there in years. Uh, I actually have a wedding, I think, here next Friday, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. Yes, all right. I may have to go through your portfolio, Sandra, because I know you shoot here a lot, but I'm shooting there next Friday, so I love the lines of the ceiling. All right, so man, Chris, I think yeah, bro, that was it,
Oh, damn, we're good, man.
dude. An hour and a half. It felt like 10 minutes. um, man, Chris, I know you got some exciting news and some big things popping here that are coming up. So we're going to keep those on the hush for right now.
Yeah,
But I wanted to let everybody know that Chris has got some big moves that's happening. We've had some group experts and some people that are in our group. Arno just became a Sony ambassador. We got some hellified photographers in this group, guys. So we just want to say thank you to all of them. Special thanks to Chris for joining us and taking time away from his career, his job, his family to be here with us tonight and sharing all his thoughts and
absolutely, brother.
opinions. So big round of applause for Chris. And thanks a lot for everybody for engaging and tuning in and submitting those images. Jeff Tisman and Sean Lara are on our radar for the following months, so stay tuned. Don't forget to check out those See Your City Differently photo walks popping up in our group, and share, invite, and tell a friend about this group, and let's continue growing so we can keep having amazing photographers like Chris and everyone else keep joining us. So, Chris, you the man, brother. Thank you
Thank
so
you, brother.
much.
Have
We'll
a
be in
blessed one,
touch.
man.
We'll talk. We'll talk again soon. And
Yeah.
but I'm gonna let you
And
go and have a great night.
anything you need, brother, we're here, man. If you ever want to do anything again, just let me know, bro. We're here to help and support all the time.
Love you to death, man. Hey, make sure you leave all of your information, socials, and all that, all those special links that people can start to
Absolutely.
follow you and stay connected as well. So
You got it,
uh,
brother.
have a great night, man. And everyone out there,
All right.
thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
You got it, bro. Bye.